Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning. Welcome to today at the races. We're at Pimlico. A bit better weather today than yesterday. We'll talk about what happened in a little bit. Naomi Tucker and the voice of the Mid-Atlantic Circuit, Dave Rotman, joining me here. Now, Dave, how are you liking doing these two different roles, handicapping and calling the races?
Oh, yeah, I've done that before. Back in the day, you know, morning show, AM trackside, 8 a.m., handicapping tip sheet, call the races, seminar, whatever. It's no problem.
Can't say that you don't earn your keep.
Back in the day.
Glad to have you here with me and to hear from you in terms of your insight, what you see when you're calling these races, because what I've noticed from you is that when you're talking about the races, you see these little movements. You see horses coming up from behind, and you kind of remember these trips, don't you?
Yeah, you know, I mean, like everyone else, I mean, watch the replays, watch the head-ons, make notes, put horses on stable mail, horses to follow. You know, they always win next time out, and yeah, I mean, I love the view here at Pimlico, actually. You're much higher up than Laurel, and you get almost, it's not a blimp shot, it's a little higher, not as high as that, but you do get see horses moving around the far turn, 3.5 furlong marker. They don't get buried behind other horses in the binoculars. So good view, and you know, just a great overall view from the top of the grandstand, maybe 5 floors up.
Yeah, I'm very envious of that view. That sounds phenomenal. I have to come and join you up there for a couple or two. Let's talk about
better here than Laurel. Laurel's very dangerous for you. Dangerous climb. Pimlico is like a luxury booth. I'll show you. I'll show you some of the artifacts we have in the booth. We used to have a rotary dial phone up there, but it disappeared. But,
oh wow, that is going back decades.
We do, yeah. Anyway,
let's get going. Let's talk about some of the stakes action coming up next week. We were just discussing time is flying. Very much looking forward to these 4 stakes races here, headlined by the Grade 3 BWI International Turf Cup. 1 mile on the turf. Now, we don't often have graded stakes action at Pimlico when it's not Preakness weekend.
Yeah, this is a good bundling the stakes all together. As we mentioned yesterday, it's good for the pick 3, pick 4, pick 5 players. You know, you got all those good horses in a bundle. BWI International Turf Cup is the graded stakes action for the afternoon. $200,000 for 3-year-olds up at a mile on the turf course. And I might say that the turf course is in great shape, even with rain. yesterday and through the week here, since they've aerated it, it's really, really draining. Just a great job by the turf crew, track maintenance crew. Rated good today. The big Dreyfus Stakes, the Bald Eagle, the Sensible Lady Turf Dash. So there you see a couple of races on the grass there for our stakes features on Saturday, July 24th.
Yeah, I do love these turf events. Great value for the handicappers as well, because more often than not, we'll find a big upset winner, or at least a double-digit price horse that comes out on top. So much fun. But let's talk about a wonderful offer as provided by ExpressBet and FirstBet. Our first ever first brand ambassador, Abel Cedillo, every time he wins at Del Mar, they give away $100 in a sweepstakes. So you get the chance to win if you bet using FirstBet or ExpressBet. And I mean, what a wonderful offer. I was just looking at, he didn't have any wins yesterday. He had 4 seconds. I mean, oh,
but he
tough
did have
luck.
a couple on opening day.
He did.
And, you know, it's good to find that extra $100 in your account if you're lucky enough to win that, and cost you nothing, right? Just sign up to qualify, sign up and bet to qualify. Details at first.com/bet/promotions. Oh, yeah, shout out to Trevor McCarthy, who did win yesterday at Del Mar.
Yeah, well done, well done. I know Katie Davis was there to support him as well. Of course, they have a little one on the way, so we wish them all the best of luck, and I hope they're enjoying themselves on the West Coast. Dearly missed here in the Mid-Atlantic. So Trevor McCarthy, one of our top jockeys, before packing up his tack and moving around and doing so quite successfully. Let's have a look at the track conditions. The main track is fast. Turf track currently rated as good. As we highlighted, we had a bit of a storm rolling over Baltimore yesterday.
Yeah, 78 degrees right now. What a difference between yesterday and today. So muggy yesterday, but the humidity's really dropped. A little windy today. We'll take the wind over the humidity, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think
wind
the
over
heat
the humidity
index
for $100 straight exacta.
Exactly. I'll bet on that. I'll happily get on board with that one. What I did hear was that the heat index yesterday was over 100 Fahrenheit. I think it was 104. It did certainly feel like that yesterday morning. So we're very lucky with a little bit of a breeze and some milder racing conditions that I think the majority of runners and riders will appreciate as well. Let's get going here with this 8th race card today. First race is the start of the early pick 5, 12%. Lowest takeout you'll find in your neighborhood, I'd say. Half a dollar minimum wager. And this time, I decided to go with an early pick 5. I thought I'd switch things up a little bit. Sometimes I do the later section of the card. We'd have Keith Fusel doing the early section. I was like, no, my turn today. First leg, I go 3 deep, 2, 5, and 6. The number 5, Mexicali Rose, is very unexposed. Gerald Roadcap trained. She broke out and lacked early positioning, but I liked how JD kind of nursed her. Gradually got her close to them, but that late run showed to me that she was battle ready and she doesn't mind being a racehorse. That was 3 weeks ago. This is her second career start. Let's hope she makes it a win. But I do use the number 6 and the number 5 as well. And then in race number 2, I go 2 deep using the 3 and the 6, which is a Blue Sky Painter. I think she's a bit of a price play for me in that spot. And then my single, oh no, excuse me, race 3 deep, 4, 5, and 8. I actually have a price play there. Buffs in Love, that turf sprint race, hoping that she can improve. She got an outside draw and drops back down from stakes class. Race 4, I decided to go with a single. It isn't the easiest race, mile and 16, a couple of hard-knocking foes in there, but I'm going to go with the horse that now is going to jump from the rail, Brutus, Javier Toledo, Kieran McGee. He's just been ever so consistent. He's beaten some of these already in here, and the time he did, he was 4 wide into that first turn. He was in the thick of a decent flow, so it wasn't even an easy setup, and he was still able to show that he's just a touch better than these. So let's hope today will be his day again. And then race number 5, I used the 1, the 5, and the now 9, excuse me, mile and 16 on the turf. The 1 on the rail, Notion Interruptus, she's my price play. Fast turnaround after the claim, 8 days. And they step her up here, so there's a bit of a confidence coming from the Marius Ray Jr. barn doing so. So I wanted to have her in case she jumps up and gets it done. Horse to beat, it seems, the number 5, Pau Hannah. Based on the speed figures, she kind of stands over this field. None of them have run anywhere near those 60 buyers. And on the outside, Monster Rising, Sheldon Russell, Tim Keefe. Well, the Keefe bond has been an absolute tear. So I want to make sure that if they continue to score like they have, that I'm not going to get kicked out of my early pick 5 for it. $27 flat. So we'll get started with the first race. Both of us have interest in the number 5, Mexicali Rose, 6 furlong sprinting distance for the ladies, maiden claimers, so trying to get that first win. Mexicali Rose, she's unexposed, 3 weeks turnaround, not the quickest of start, as you can see right there. Just, you know, she broke out actually. You can see her, she kind of broke out and bumped a little bit and hence lacked that early positioning that over 6 furlong you do kind of need.
Yeah, that was a maiden $25,000 race. She's in for the maiden 40 today, but she's got one of the top figures in the race off the debut run. Now, the winner of that race had previously run for maiden special, maiden 40. So this jump on paper from maiden 25 to maiden 40, I don't think is really a leap for her today. It's kind of essentially the same race, in my opinion. So good close there. She repeats that effort. She'll be a factor in the stretch, and I'm going to point to her more because Miss Buskanovich, I thought her last race, she was wide, sure, but she never really mustered a passing gear in the lane as a beaten favorite that day. She was wide, gets a 2-hole today. Maybe the ground saving will make a difference for her today if she can, but I gave the edge, just like you, to the 5 over the 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. That last race wasn't very inspiring. Is technically taking a drop, maiden special weight to maiden 40, but what we've learned on this circuit is that you have to look at each race individually, because sometimes the maiden 40s come up much saltier than the maiden special weight and vice versa. So I love your take there, Dave, about the number 5 Mexicali Rose, some of the foes that she's ran against, sort of the class jumps Dave made and how that stacks up here. I think it really, really pays to look at the speed figures and what's really in the race, because it doesn't always come up as strong or as easy as one might expect. Race number 2, start of the rainbow, pick 6 here. I mean, I actually mentioned this incorrectly. I said 8 race card. We have a 7 race card today, and hence the rainbow pick 6 kicks off in race number 2. Just a touch earlier than we're expected. Be aware, make sure that you've done your homework and get your tickets in. $13,000. Let's make them 14 grand already in the pool. So if you add a little bit of money to it and get a nice payout, more the better here on this beautiful Sunday Mountain. 16 is the distance for the 3-year-old and up claimers in here. And I have a little bit of a price horse in here. Blue Sky Painter for Jerry Robb. We have a video of his efforts a couple of races ago, which was at Laurel actually, but he's a grinder, and I thought that in that race Xavier really positioned him quite terrifically. You can see he's right there the whole time, which is exactly what you kind of want from him, because he will keep on finding, and that's exactly what he did down the Laurel stretch. Back end of his campaign, that was, before he had a little bit of a freshener. I feel like he's had 2 races. He races himself into fitness, so I'm hoping that he can continue the upward curve here.
Yeah, he's an honest type. He's been 1, 2, 3 in his last 7 starts or so, including his old barn, his new barn. He's a very consistent kind of horse, and I wouldn't factor him out today. I gave a slight edge to the 4 in here, Monaco, who was 3rd as a beaten favorite in a $16,000 tag last time out here at Pimlico. A race won by My Good Man, who buyered up with an 82 buyer figure. A 6-year-old runs his 82 buyer figure top of his career. Interesting horse.
Don't hold age against him.
Well, you know, it's just
it's quite something.
Was that legit? Maybe the time was a little strange because of the fractions of the race, and it was a little short field. I don't know, but in any case, My Good Man has a little bit of back class himself. But for him to top out there, I'm going to excuse that effort as a beaten favorite. And he's able to close too. He's come from off the pace before, Monaco. You look back in his form. I think they're pretty close. The 4 and the 6 in here. You gave the edge to the 6. You got the 3 in there.
I used the 3.
Commanding General off of sprints, right? Stretch out for Linda Albert.
Yeah, no, I looked back at that last race. Nothing went right there. He bobbled at the start. It was steady during the race. Ends up getting a wide trip. I like him being lower draw, close to the rail. The pace is going to be much more to his liking. He doesn't mind splitting horses. I think this would be interesting, a bit more of an unknown in this field, and I do kind of like that at this level.
Yeah, if you're not sold on my top pick, Naomi's top pick, got a sprinter stretching out, who certainly could is capable, you know, kind of an even pace in those sprints. And the races he comes out of there, No Fooling Dude, New Frontier, they weren't slow races. 79 buyer for New Frontier in the victory. You know, that stacks up pretty good against this field.
Yeah, I thought I'd take a little bit of a flyer in here with a horse that, you know, might not have shown his hand yet. And I think he's going to like the type of flow that he will encounter. Race number 3, Fillies and Mess. Optional claimer starter allowance. This is the start of the late pick 5 sequence. We don't have a carryover for our late pick 5, 50-cent minimum wager. And a couple of turf events and just fun races to bite your handicapping teeth in. 5 furlongs turf distance. And I have another sort of price horse in here. I'm trying to get, you know, a little bit more value. I know she's up against it. This is not going to be easy. 6-year-old mare, Buffs in Love. I also selected a video here on the 1st of May at Pimlico, going this sprinting distance. And that was a run after a 160-day layoff, and she was in between horses early. She's a type that has plenty of early pace, but look what happened here. She got kind of completely shuffled back when Unacoy, who's reopposing in here, came over on her, and that took away her chances. But what it showed to me is that at this level, that was the last time she ran at this level, she is very, very competitive and has the capabilities to best these. Then she was campaigning the Very One in the Peach Blossom. Then she went up to Penn. I'm not sure that track really suited her, but I think this Pimlico track works well for her, and hopefully at 4-1 she can get me home.
Yeah, well, she was 15-1 the day she won there, and beating Foggy Dreams and Unacoy off the shelf, so she was wound up, ready to go. They fired, they got the money at 15-1, and then, as you mentioned, the Very One against Caravel, 83-1, draw a line through that, and a little better efforts, both thirds at Delaware and Penn National for out-of-town runs in here. Her best running maybe slightly off the pace, so that's why maybe I went with a horse who's got a little perhaps more early lick in the 4, Fast Lunny. Coming back in 9 days for Snake Frock and Gerald Burns. Lasix first time, dazzled with a big 7-length lead at the 8th pole. Hellwell to win by 4. Very quick early fractions in the race, and I think she's going to try to dazzle them again today, offer a short rest. Congratulations, by the way, to Snake Frock and their victory with Baby Yoda. We'll talk about that today. They sold that horse, went up to Saratoga. More details coming. And our lightning round, I just gave it away, so I guess it's not lightning anymore.
Did,
you heard the thunder.
Yeah, the Frogs have had a terrific season thus far at Pimlico, so congratulations to them. They've been hitting.
Yes, they have. That, you know, they're prepping. They're prepping for an even bigger meet at Timonium, I hear.
Wow!
You're going to witness the Frock Winter Circle celebrations at Timonium.
Oh no, I've seen them already here. Yeah, you can hear them from the distance if they had to have a winner, which I highly encourage. I like the passion and sort of the enthusiasm for getting a winner. I also use Olive Cap from Michael Gorham. Bested and Ness runner last time out. Lady Magical had won on her turf debut before as well. That 83 buyer. Will she get back to that gaudy figure? I'm not sure, but it shows that she's very capable of rattling these splits off, and she allowed the leader to slip away. She doesn't need the lead. She can kind of be that, you know, dangerous stalk and pounce like a cat. Olive Cat. This is my my terrible attempt at a pun here. I like her as well. She's going to be front running too. As we'll move on to race number 4, we're looking at claiming 8,000 to 6,000 event, mile and 16 on the main track here. And Dave, we see this nearly identical. Well, both of us go with Brutus for Kieran McGee. So much so I like this 5-year-old gelding is that I've made him my single on my early pick 4, because the last time he faced a couple of these, we have a video of that. He went again Glengar, Charging Lion, and you can see Brutus right there in front. Glengar was trying to hold on. He had set the pace, and Brutus came with a just sort of off the pace kind of effort. You can see Charging Lion trying to make his claim, but he was so much the best. It did switch out a little bit there late, but if you see the way he put them away, I'm hoping he'll show up like that again here.
Yeah, this $5,000 claim a few races back. You know, they're keeping Brutus at a level that they feel he can win at. He's got that inside draw now. Bahama Channel out of the race. Good tactical early speed no matter what. Comes out of a second-place finish behind They Shot Sunny, who was a comeback next-out winner. We're the 82 buyer after running an 85 at Delaware. All they had to do is walk him over the McGee barn right behind us, maybe just out of the picture back there. And so this is what you get at this level, right? Horses that have faced each other before. Glengar, Charging Lion, Dashing Lou, that kind of horse. Dashing Lou was third last time out behind Glengar. Facing familiar faces, never been beaten that far. A win today for him wouldn't be out of the question at all. So yeah, he's your single. So I'm rooting for you in that pick 5 for your single, and I've got him on top too.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but we know that Glengar loves going long. He's back at a distance that I think he prefers, and he's kind of, he's kind of comfortable when a horse comes at him. So I'm not sure if he's gonna try and sort of get in front of Brutus and then have horses run at him, or if Brutus is gonna hold his own and it's gonna be Glengar that will have to, pressure the other runner. But Glengar's such a tough servant at this level. Always tries.
He's got, he'll get into the gate on Glengar time.
Oh, yes.
Right? I mean, he's kind of a temperamental horse, legendary at the starting gate. They got to put him in first, load him from the front. They've tried everything. I mean, when he feels right, though, he can win. He comes back on a short rest, off a sprint where he showed good pace, 23-1 opening quarter, 46-1 and tired. The stretch out, maybe he can relax. And if he's feeling his Glengar self today, maybe he's a career win in this group.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the latter section of the card.
And they're off. Second in the two-pap. Round off her inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back. We're in Baltimore, Pimlico Racecourse. Naomi Tucker, the voice of the Mid-Atlantic racing community. Dave Rodman. Race number 5, Fillies and Mesh, trying to break their maidens. Mile and 16 on the turf. And you know what catches my eye here, Dave? The fact that you have Notion Interruptus on top. Now, I picked her in third because I looked at what's there at Mary Sue A. Jr., and I think you're onto something here.
Well, I mean, just go back and look at the video of her last race, July 10th. Was in between horses in the stretch run, lacked a bit of racing room. Had she gotten through, would she have followed through to win? I don't know, running on entry. Had the free run on the outside without traffic and got up. Now, he was claimed out of that race into the Mario Surrey Jr. barn, 8-day rest. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I'll consider it a 7-day rest. Even going back on a less than a week rest for the Surrey barn, they strike at 14%. So this filly, I was going to pick turf or dirt. Had we been off the turf today, we're on the turf, rated good. The pedigree says turf long and short. Got the dirt pedigree there as well. Showed some speed on the grass. The race that was taken off the turf at Parks in the second career out. I don't know. Maybe today's not the distance for her, but I think she's going to pop here soon into the winner's circle off that troubled trip last time out from running on entry. And the Surrey barn, is sharp off the claim. The Dam staged a fair. It was dirt and turf. 2 wins on the dirt, 2 wins on the turf, and 27 starts, 6 lifetime wins. Very consistent. So there's a lot of positives about her today. I took a shot, put her on top here, and maybe that 5-1 will hold. A
lot of good points there indeed. I use the outside runner, Monster Rising, for Tim Keith. She was in a tough maiden 40 behind Fool Yourself, and what I still believe can be a nice filly and a fire in the hole. She had no answer to a close of Proper Storm 2 starts ago. She doesn't possess a late rally, but what she did do well is that she shows gate speed and high cruising speed, which I hope she'll use here. Tim Keith has been flying. He's attracted Russell. She has that speed and is drawn to the outside, so I like what I'm seeing there. I do use the number 5 underneath. I think Paul Hahn is most likely definitely going to take favoritism because she's run higher speed figures than anyone else in this field. So we move on to our feature race. This is an exciting race, Dave. I'm looking forward to race number 6. Optional claimer 3 other than 6 furlong with a fair bit of stakes quality to it. I can't help but go back to wonder where Greg is. Let's look at his career best performance right here at Pimlico, where he's returning. What I loved is he was hard ridden from the gate. He had to show speed, and he did. Look at him breaking in front of all those speedsters there. Wasn't holding back, wasn't saving any energy, and I was wondering, when is he going to fold? You know, like when a horse breaks like that and goes, those splits he went sub 23 here. We know how close the beam is to the gate. He's going to give up. He did not.
Right. Came back after that race as a beaten favorite at another track, out of town at Delaware Park. So we know he likes Pimlico. We know he's got good quarter, half-mile speed. He's got the gas. I'm a little concerned that this race may have been kind of inflated. On May the 14th, it was a strong rail day here at Pimlico. That's my only concern with him. Now you're saying, well, he's going to go to the front again. Well, maybe he will, but maybe Eastern Bay has something to say about that too, because
you think Eastern Bay is going to go to the lead?
He used to be a closer.
Yeah.
He used to be a closer back earlier in his career. And then into the Claudio Gonzalez barn. Look at that race back in June of last year. 22-1, 45-1 at Laurel. That was speed he never had. He showed it 2 races in a row. But he can also come from off the pace as well. So what are they going to do with him today? I'm going to give him a slight edge here. Eastern Bay today. Hard-knocking 7-year-old Maryland bred looking for career win number 12.
Yeah, hard-knocking runner indeed. Very, very dangerous. Has been up against all the right types. The Francis Dash winner, Lakai, out-and-out runner. But indeed, what will they do today? Are they going to press the issue and make sure that if Wonder Where Greg goes to the front, that he's not going to, you know, rattle off by himself and have fun? I like your take there. I think that in general, as of late, they've used him back as a closer again. He's been very effective doing so. So I don't see why necessarily you'd have to force his hand. But I guess that's also up to Angel Cruz. Once the gate open, the horse will let you know where you are, because you don't want to be forcing anything early with a horse that can basically come from behind as well.
He may not go to the front. I mean, you may have enough for Arthur's Hope and a very fresh Kenny Had a Notion to put enough heat. I know Arthur's Hope is pretty quick early, maybe a little quicker at 7/8 instead of 6, but maybe just enough pressure. You know, he could sit right off of it. I mean, this horse is very, very versatile. So what a matchup, really, between our top 2 picks, the 2, the 5, and the 2. And we mentioned Kenny Had a Notion in the comeback.
Yeah.
You know, what's he going to do?
Well, he's facing Elders for the first time.
Exactly.
How good is he?
Well, that's the question. I mean, how much is it going to improve after the layoff? Del Capuano, winner of 3,560 races, I think, as of today, is very consistent at every angle you look at, whether it's layoff, you know, putting 3-year-olds against older horses, and he's fresh in here. I look for a good accounting, but maybe something else down the line for him. I'm not quite sure. They wanted to enter him, I think, in Virginia, right, in a Virginia bred stake.
I think so as well. Ended up going here. I mean, he is a
here.
Virginia bred, so certainly has options there when it comes to finding maybe easier spots than today. So I think Del Capuano taking his chances here also is a bit telling about his confidence.
What does that say? Yeah,
I think he's confident.
Okay.
He wouldn't run this horse if he didn't think he had a shot of winning. Del Capuano, of course, as you highlighted, very experienced trainer, one of the veterans on our circuit. And this is a horse that bested Always in a Hurry by about 5 lengths in the Maryland Million Nursery. Now, that was, of course, as 2-year-olds, but then Always in a Hurry developed into the Concern Stakes winner, besting Mighty Mischief. So you wonder what we have on our hands here with Kenny Had a Notion, who was already a stakes winner, of course, also won the Spectacular Bid. So really looking forward to seeing him line up here today. And then the nightcap, claiming 12,500, 6 furlongs the distance. And Dave, we use a couple of similar horses, albeit you don't particularly like my top pick here. I use Stay Out for the same trainer. The only problem is there might be a fast filly on her inside, Calypso Ghost. So what will happen if Calypso Ghost and Stay Out both send and cancel each other out that way?
Well, it was a definite send last time out. I'll tell you that. It went 23, 45, and 4. in a duel, and here comes Phantom Shot closing from dead last in a perfect trip up to win. And I believe it was Stay Out who dueled with Dilly Philly, who was the favorite in that race, right?
Yeah.
I forgot to go back in my memory there, and really was her undoing, and here comes the closer in that race. So which Stay Out's going to show up today? How fast will they go early? I think there'll still be maybe a little enough company to keep her company up front. I mean, I can see her angle there. I mean, she's got to come back to some of those races back in the winter.
Yeah.
And if she can do that, she's in the circle.
Yeah, but you like Joyful Noise on top. I respect her. I have him right exacted because the flow sets up in her favor, as we already mentioned, with the speed on the rail and the 2-hole.
Right. I'm going with the flow and going with the sharp mare here. Just won 2 straight, so she's 2 for 2 at Pimlico from the Mario Saray barn. And once horses get in good form in that barn, they tend to stay in good form for a while. Her last 2 races, very consistent from the half-mile pole home, and she's going to benefit from a trip flow this afternoon. Well, you mentioned Calypso Ghost. I mean, she's getting the blinkers off. Here we go again with the blinkers off angle. Yeah.
So but I like the fact that they're taking the blinkers off. I don't think that means they're going to take her off the pace, because she's been running in front without the blinkers, and that was only one race where they tried the blinkers.
Right, only one race
so
against
clearly,
Joyful Noise.
Yeah, clearly they were like, okay, this is actually not what we want, because she didn't finish as strongly. I think it helps for her to see the other horses, so she wants to run with them and against them late. That's my theory here. So yeah, I don't mind them taking them off.
I mean, I give her an extra point because of the race 3 back. Princess Georgia came back out of that race to win a Jersey bred $76,000, little restricted race up at Monmouth. The Spruce Fir, I think, was the name of the race. So, with those blinkers back off, she's going to show forward speed, and maybe she'll follow through instead of stopping like she did last time out after that extended duel. She could be really, the trouble for Stay Out in the race. I think the pace flow works in the 7's favor this afternoon. That's why I went with her.
Yeah, 2.751 for me, 7.153 in the finale for Dave Rotman, as we'll move along to a couple of interesting points in lightning round. Well, those storm and lightning sounds are very appropriate there in lightning round. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the latter section of the Pimlico card yesterday, as we had quite a heavy storm front moving over the track. It was a bit of a show, to be honest. Callie and I and a lot of the jockeys basically turned around and start watching and just seeing lightning just bolting it down.
Yeah, it's very scary there. Yeah, the WJZ tower is behind us there on the back. What a view from here, from Pimlico, and lightning is all around us. A lot of tall objects around here, so we always get a little leery. But it's comes with the territory this time of year. Summer, thunderstorms, heat. Heat canceled Delaware yesterday. I mean, it even rained at Saratoga right a few minutes after we canceled here, and they've had a wet overnight, and they're off the turf up there today. But the better streak of weather is ahead, including some lower humidity, and it looks like the temperatures will be dropping a bit to more human-like conditions the week ahead. And some of those races that were canceled yesterday, when we canceled the program, they're coming back, I believe, on Friday's program. So if you were looking forward to playing some of the horses that we talked about today at the races yesterday, some of those races may be back on the Friday slate.
Yeah, see them coming back on Friday. And safety comes first is the motto here at the Maryland Jockey Club and for the Stronach Groom. So due to the precautions in relation to the weather coming in, they canceled the car. But we're back today with safer conditions, good weather conditions. So hopefully we will continue today without any unforeseen weather hiccups. And we have a bonus offer for you. If you want to sign up with First Bet, you get $1,000 sign up bonus. It's the official wagering partner of the Maryland Jockey Club. Do use the promo code MJC1000. Now, how nice is that, Dave, that they're coming up with all these promos to make sure that you get a head start when you start wagering on the horses?
Yeah. You think people are on their phones looking at Twitter or Facebook? No, they're signing up on First Bet with a First Bet app. It's downloaded on your smartphone there, and you'll be able to play wherever you are. Don't miss a moment.
Yeah. You already gave the crux away for our next
I did.
point.
I got to get with the flow here, not give away the jump.
Yoda. Baby Yoda. Victorious at the Spa on his 3rd start. Now, we know Baby Yoda as a runaway maiden 10 winner for the Frogs. Then stepped up to allowance optional claiming, a gallant 3rd there, but then changed hands and is now with Hall of Famer Bill Mott.
Yeah, really a nice score for Snake Frock and his owner there in the sale of Baby Yoda. So we're looking for good things from now on for him up at the Spa. Picked a good spot for him to unveil him, and they knew. They knew, right?
Oh, they did.
Boy, I'll tell you, he was pounded at the windows.
They had a bit of fun there.
And so I think, I'm not quite sure, I have to check, but someone told me he ran like a 90-something buyer, right?
I don't think it was a 90. Well, you mean at the Spa? I haven't seen the speed figure from the Spa just yet. I was like, no, on debut it was lower than that. But
no, on debut,
yeah. Terrific debut effort, and congratulations to them developing this youngster and giving him that education and indeed placing him where he could win, so they could also have a little bit of fun backing the youngster that they had such a high opinion of. And that's what this sport is all about, developing these horses and hoping they'll pay off in due course, and Baby Yoda certainly has. I must admit, I got surprised. I was going through the car at Saratoga and I'm going, Baby Yoda? Wait, you mean the same Baby Yoda that just ran here? And I'm going, but Bill Mott, that's not the trainer he was with. So then that caught my eye, and he went on winning. So quite the surprise and sort of fairy tale story with the sale.
Power of Daily Racing Form Formulator, 93 buyer figure.
93. Well done, Dave, for quickly looking that up. I think my computer at present is not as fast in doing that right now.
Are you kidding me? This thing?
It's the
it's
weather.
Like from the Flintstone era.
So mine is actually quite old too, might I add.
It's a rock pad, not an iPad.
Oh, God. I bet I rival you. My iPad is 11 years old, I do believe. So I think I rival you with that one. But this is my MacBook. I do think it needs replacement because the heat, it doesn't take the heat well. So it gets a little bit slower. But we already highlighted the stakes action coming up, and we just want to make sure that you don't sit on that wonderful 4 stakes strong card coming your way on Saturday, July 24th, Grade 3 BWI International Turf Cup, 1 mile on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up. Now, we were both going through the nominations. I know a couple of these horses just recently ran. I'm not sure we get all, the top class horses that we've seen in here, but, you're looking at Air Token, maybe Cannon's Roar, Dixie Draw is entered. Don't forget Eons for Orno Delacour. There's a couple of horses I have quite a bit of interest in. Pixelate for Michael Stidham. And
you look at the Bald Eagle, that's a 1.5 miles on the turf. So, I was speaking with a friend of mine last night about, he's lamenting, it's all sprints nowadays. And, here we go, 1.5 miles on the turf for the Bald Eagle Derby on there. So a lot of turf action, Yeah, no, very much looking forward to it, because as a handicapper, those turf races are tough to figure out. Very, very high quality puzzles to solve, and hopefully we'll be correct and get you a couple of bucks to spend on your weekend off that you're hopefully spending with us and attending here at Pimlico on a beautiful day coming up. And that will do it for Dave Rotman and I, but Dave will be back ever so shortly to get you up to date with any changes and scratches for today's 7 race card. Good luck. Good luck.